This video is about color, atmosphere, and space. I like to choose to start with a mid-tone neutral that exists in the composition. And in this case, I found the woman's suit as being a mid-tone. So once I find my mid-tone, then I'm going to analyze that suit in color. And I would say that was a mixture of purple or violet and earth yellow, according to my color wheel. And I'm going to do that now. I'm going to mix purple and yellow, this yellow earth, together and mix this, and then add a little bit of white to get it lighter. Here I'm adding white to make the color a mid-tone value. And yeah, it's too dark. So we're going to add a little more white. And that's getting better. It's getting closer. I'm going to add one more little part of white to it. And this is comparing the source to the paint I mixed up. And I feel pretty good about it. So I'm ready to go. Now I'm going to paint in the base layer with the color that we mixed up, and I'll wait for it to dry. After that layer has dried completely, I'm going to compare it to our mid-tone once again. Here's this image in black and white, and it still looks a little too dark, so I'm going to keep that in mind. Now I'm regridding the painting. Let's look at our first quadrant. Notice the darks around the floor. I'm going to paint those first. Instead of calling these black, I'm actually going to call them brown. So, and I'm going to keep my shadows. These are shadows areas. I'm keep them warm. So again, using brown rather than black or blue. Now I'm going to go for the light floor, and I have a little bit of my background. So I'm going to use that to help me mix that color. So I have, that's the purple. We know we're going to make our purple a little whiter. We're going to put it right here, right where there's the brightest floor. I'm going to go into my dark oranges here. So I'm right here. And I want to use browns. So I'm using my iron oxide or my earth ochre. And I'm going to put these in. And then for a little bit of brightness right here, I'm going to add a little of our yellow. And I'm not going to green yellow, I'm going to orange yellow. So that oranger yellow. Again, I'm keeping with the idea of warm and cool. So I'm adding a little white to that orange to make it cooler and let the shadows go warm. The more I look at this, I really do want to push that rose in there. I think the rose is the correct color, even though I wouldn't have guessed it. The key is to get it the right value, which is it's very light. And then let's add this as well here. So I'm now moving to the second quadrant. Okay, so this is there's a lot of stuff going on here, but since we know what these are, we've already painted these. So they come from the bottom. So this area is actually going to be the same color as that. And then we're going to come up from this yellow bouquet from this area and just move it upwards. So I started painting that with that yellow earth. So I'm going to continue. Again, it's browner with maybe a little rose in it. All right, so we're going to start with the jacket. Remember how we did that? We did a little white and the color of the background plus a little bit more yellow. We're going to look at the final quadrant, and I'm going to really focus on the boxes that are in the front. I'm going to use that light green from our Himi palette. And there are definitely parts that are lighter and darker, so I'm going to just use some white to lighten this edge. And there's a bunch of things I'd want to do. So let's just look at the whole for a second to get a sense of it and the values of it and the color of it to see if I'm on the right track. And I can definitely tell that certain things need to be lighter, but I'm definitely on the right track. And I would like to get in there and do more. These are the two images. The reference is on the left and the painting is on the right. And what I want you to take away from this is the light areas are cooler and the areas that are in the shadow are warmer. So if you notice this area where the plants are in the shadow over on the right, those are warmer colors, and that corresponds to the reference. However, if you look at those plants that are in the light, which are over here, those are much cooler. And I used the lemon mixed with white to be cooler.